Emma was not flashy. She didn't wear designer labels or cover herself in expensive jewelry. She was soft-spoken, humble, and carried herself with quiet confidence. What made Emma stand out wasn't wealth. It was grace. That afternoon, she stepped out alone, her heart fluttering with quiet excitement. She had planned something special, a new car, the one her husband Daniel had always admired. After years of sacrifice and saving, she was ready. Emma and Daniel had built their life from scratch. She was once a teacher at a small school, and Daniel had worked multiple shifts at a repair garage. They had lived in a tiny rented apartment where the roof leaked during monsoons and the heater barely worked in the winter. But despite the challenges, they never let go of their dreams. Every evening, after long days of work, they would sit by the window with 2 mugs of tea and talk about someday. Someday when they'd have a home of their own, a garden where their kids could play, and a car that didn't stall at every signal. Their lives began to change slowly. Emma started an online business, making handmade crafts and home decor, while Daniel climbed the ranks at the garage. They worked hard, saved harder, and kept dreaming. Years passed. Emma's small business grew beyond expectations. Orders began pouring in. Soon she was shipping internationally, and her modest little workshop turned into a small company. But Emma remained the same, humble, grounded, and thankful. That morning, she had written a note and left it on Daniel's nightstand. Running errands. Love you. She didn't mention her plan. She wanted it to be a surprise. He had done so much for her, and now it was her turn to give him something that would remind him they had made it, together. She entered the city's most luxurious showroom, where polished floors, velvet ropes, and celebrity portraits created an air of elitism. Emma, in simple clothes and sandals, walked up to the front desk. Mr. Victor, the showroom manager, stood behind it, tall, sharply dressed, and scrolling through his phone like everything else could wait. When she greeted him with a gentle, "Good afternoon," he barely looked up. "I was hoping to take a look at your latest models. My husband and I are planning to buy a new car," she said with a hopeful smile. Victor gave her a once-over. No designer bag, no flashy jewelry. Just a woman in a plain kurta, worn-out shoes, and eyes that had seen struggle. His expression shifted, smugness creeping in. "These cars are not for people like you," he said flatly. "They're worth more than your entire life savings. Don't waste my time." Emma blinked, stunned. I assure you, I'm serious." "There's a used car dealership down the road," he cut her off, gesturing lazily. "You'll find something more appropriate." His words stung like cold wind. Emma stood there, frozen. She could feel the eyes of other staff and customers drifting toward her, not in sympathy, in silent judgment. Without a word, she turned and walked out, holding back tears. She sat across the street on a bench, staring at the glass walls of the showroom. For a brief moment, all her hard work, all those years of effort, felt invisible. Her phone buzzed. It was Daniel. "Don't forget the eggs," the message read. She chuckled through her tears. Even now, he was thinking of home, of everyday life. That's who they were, simple, yet extraordinary. Her mind drifted to something Daniel had once said when their old car had broken down in the rain. "One day, Em, we'll drive something brand new, not because we want to show off, but because we earned it." With quiet determination, she stood up, pulled out her phone, and made a call. 2 weeks later, the showroom buzzed with cameras and curiosity. A luxury car, the rarest model they offered, rolled up to the entrance. The driver stepped out, opened the passenger door, and Emma emerged, elegant and composed. Her sari was simple, but the way she carried herself made heads turn. Behind her came a PR representative holding a folder and camera crews adjusting their focus. Mrs. Emma Clark, co-founder of Clark & Lang Enterprises, has just purchased our most exclusive vehicle as a gift for her husband on their 20th wedding anniversary, the announcer declared. Victor's eyes widened. He stammered, recognizing her instantly, the same woman he had dismissed. He tried to approach her, but Emma calmly stepped forward. "Mr. Victor," she said, voice serene but firm. "Do you remember me?" I didn't know." "You didn't ask," she replied. "You looked at my clothes and decided my worth. But some of us spend our lives building value where it truly matters, in love, honesty, and hard work." There was silence all around. The showroom staff stood still. The cameras kept rolling. "I'm not here to prove anything," Emma continued, "but I do hope that the next time a woman walks in wearing simplicity, you don't confuse it with lack." Then she smiled. "Oh, and the eggs?" I remembered. She stepped into the driver's seat, turned the key, and the engine purred like a tiger at peace. As she drove off, the cameras followed. It wasn't just a car being driven away, it was a story of quiet triumph. That evening, Daniel stood in their driveway, mouth agape. Emma pulled up, stepped out, and handed him the keys. "Happy anniversary," she whispered. He held her face in his hands. "You did this. For me?" "For us," she said. "Every dream we whispered to the stars, it came true." Tears filled his eyes as he hugged her tightly. "I don't deserve you." She laughed through her own tears. "We deserve this life. We earned every bit of it." From a nearby house, a neighbor watched, turned to her husband and said, "Now that's what real success looks like." Emma didn't need applause. Her victory wasn't about proving a point, it was about rising above. True wealth is not in the car you drive, but in the love you share, the life you build, and the quiet power of dignity. And that night, Emma was the richest woman in the city. As Emma drove away from the showroom, she felt a sense of quiet fulfillment. It was not just the car that gave her a sense of accomplishment, it was the journey. That day, she realized that the true measure of success wasn't in outward displays of wealth or status, but in the deep, silent pride of having built something meaningful, something real. Her heart swelled with joy as she thought about all the years Daniel and she had worked to reach this moment. They had endured so much, yet they had never let go of their dreams. The struggles, the setbacks, the humble beginnings, all of it had brought them here. It wasn't just about buying a car, it was about recognizing their own strength, their own resilience, and celebrating that quiet, unshakable bond that had kept them going. Daniel had always believed that success wasn't about showing off. It was about the simple joys of life, the satisfaction that comes with knowing that you've built your future with hard work, love, and faith in each other. That was their true wealth, and now Emma knew that she had truly earned it.